Happy Warriors, Brilyn, Hollyhand here. I've seen your texts, I've seen your DMs, I've seen your comments, I've seen your emails. It has been a little over 2 weeks since the 2024 presidential election. I'm home, we're off the campaign trail, and I finally had some time to sit down and react. And this is what this is going to be. The good, the bad, the ugly, what we did well, what we can improve on, and how we can continue to win again in 2026 and 2028. So here it goes. Donald Trump has been impeached, beat, raided, indicted, arrested, and even shot. But he won, and he's now the 47th president of the United States, packing his bags to move back into the White House. We just witnessed the greatest comeback in political history. This will be covered in our children and grandchildren's history textbooks one day. My fellow Americans, it's morning in America again. Now, like I said, it's been a few weeks since the landslide. I've got a few honest conversations that our party needs to have. We have some things that we need to congratulate ourselves on and some things that we can improve on as well. You see, first of all, we were told that Trump couldn't win over any college students, female voters, Latino voters, or even black voters. He improved his numbers with all. Why? The media said that voters were most concerned with abortion, Trump's racism, and these threats to democracy. At the end of the day, it was the economy, stupid. Every poll going into election day was different. But the one question that always had the same result, 75% of Americans were frustrated with their current state of living. In every single poll. That's why I felt so confident going into election night. That's why we won so big and won the popular vote. 75% of Americans were fed up, and they showed up to the polls. That's why Republicans won a trifecta majority. At the end of the day, it wasn't abortion rights. It wasn't January 6th. It wasn't Kamala's joy. It was the price of eggs that got people out to vote. We had a plan, and we laid it out in detail. The other side ran a campaign of celebrity endorsements, TikTok trends, and vibes with zero policies. You see, the problem was she couldn't list policies, she couldn't sit down for interviews, or even hold a single press conference in her entire campaign. You see, these results were bigger than just a fluke or an anomaly. This was a rejection of the establishment and elites, by everyday working class Americans who genuinely, at the end of the day, just felt ignored, and they finally had enough. Regardless of if all of them loved Donald Trump's personality, majority of Americans united behind his policies, and youth voters led the charge. You see, when I first pitched youth outreach in January of 2023, I said that our party was an endangered species, at risk of extinction if we didn't involve Gen Z. Luckily, we as a party reached out. I've spent the past 2 years speaking on college campuses, crafting the RNC's creator program, and encouraging Trump and the campaign to embrace modern forms of media like TikTok and podcasting. Thankfully, he and they did, and it paid off. You see, Donald Trump won the youth vote by 17 more points than he did in 2020. 17! This outreach can't just stop now. We must spend the next 2 to 4 years welcoming these new first-time voters into our party to create generational change so that this isn't a one-time occurrence. Also, another point that I think is not getting immediate attention, not enough attention was necessarily paid to our historic early voting numbers that really shattered all previous records, not only for Republicans, but in election history in general. The GOP and Trump campaign's joint effort to get votes banked before Election Day, to then shift our resources to targeted voters to help us get swing state supporters who previously had sat out of other elections, getting them out to vote, pushed us over the finish line. Those huge, as President Trump would say, early vote numbers overwhelmed Harris's Daya voters, and that's why it was an early call. People called us crazy, and I think it's how we won the election. So what can we improve on going forward? Well, increasing early voting pushes for all future elections, ramping up our youth voter outreach, and keeping our policies humble to genuinely help everyday Americans not becoming out of touch or elite-like, similar to the modern DNC that is now failing and losing. You see, the work starts now. It's not over. We won. Now we must actually do the work to rebuild and fix America. Then we must win again in 2026 and 2028. So take a quick nap, catch up with friends, enjoy Thanksgiving and Christmas with your families, and be ready to continue the fight to make America great again, because there's a lot of work left to be done. Thank you for the opportunity of being on this campaign trail. Thanks for following along with supporting me. We're nowhere near done. The best is yet to come. Are you tired of winning yet? Because I sure ain't.